Uh, Fantastic. Banned on Twitch. Banned on Twitch. Fantastic. Banned on Twitch. Banned on Twitch. Lost my job. 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 We gotta wait for you guys to all get in here. I'm banned on Twitch. Lost my job. 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 Lost my job. Hell yeah. I love it. Losing my job. It's great having economic instability in a war zone. There's nothing else I would love in the world than to lose my job while in a war zone. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you for your service and sucking the most balls. It is what it is. Obviously it's an unjust ban. Twitch was, I mean, they were like broadcasting the town hall freely. It wasn't cable restricted. It's completely ridiculous that I'm banned. But what am I gonna do? There's no protections for creators online for stuff like this, so just is what it is, boys. Got banned for broadcast for the dumbest reason. Just broadcasting a freely available town hall. My goodness, man. This sucks. This really sucks. There's nothing I can do either. I just gotta suck it up, and I'm just have to take a few day ban. Guess I'm Twitch streaming on YouTube for a few days. Stupid Twitch. I mean, like, what am I? It sucks, man. It sucks. I guess I'm just gonna be streaming on YouTube for today, tomorrow, and the next day. I just got hit too, but the thing this sucks is because it's freely available. It's freely available on CNN. It's not cable restricted. It's freely available. Why get banned over it if it's freely available? How many ads is CNN gonna play for me to go back to the Trump segment? Watch them ban my YouTube too. And they banned IRI too. So me and IRI are banned on Twitch. Banned on Twitch. No warning, just banned. Fantastic. Fucking hate Twitch, man. God, everybody who told me that I should make the jump is right, man. Everybody who says I should make the jump, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Twitch didn't send me any emails about it either, man. I don't even know. Oh my God. Commercial break in progress. CNN will resume momentarily. Alright, just got banned too. Yep, he did. How long is the ban? They don't tell you. I have no fucking clue. They don't send me an email. I'm looking at my email. They've sent me nothing. Oh, there we go. Now they've just sent it. We received a copyright takedown. Copyright claim by, I don't know who this is. Warner Bros? Your account has been suspended for 48 hours and has been issued a copyright strike. You have one copyright strike on your channel. One copyright. Fuck Twitch, man. God damn it. Whatever. Let's get back to it.
Are experiencing record migration. We learned on May 2nd that the Biden administration plans on deploying 1,500 troops to the southern border. Do you agree with deploying troops to the border, and how will a Trump administration slow down the rate of migrants coming across all our borders?
Sure. A very fair question, especially since tomorrow is going to be a day of infamy. You're going to have tens of thousands of people pouring into our country. Even the judge, the judge overruled them when they wanted to terminate it early. And he said, that you better extend this thing. The judge in Texas said, I hope you're going to extend this, but this is my policy that they're letting terminate because they lost in court. They wanted to go earlier. You're going to have millions of people pouring into our country right now at a level that nobody's ever seen before. These people are sick. Anybody that wants this to happen to our country, they're destroying our country, and this should not be allowed to happen. How they're not going to do a version of Title 42 or my Title 42, which was tough. If people are sick and have infectious diseases and lots of other problems, we don't want them being into our country. We have enough problems right now. We have problems like we've never had in the history of our country.
But Mr. President,
our country is being destroyed.
The reason it's ending is because the health policy, the COVID-era pandemic emergency, is coming to an end. That's what Title 42 was. You put it in place because of COVID.
True, but
when it comes to big questions about what your immigration policy would look like if you are reelected, some of your Republican rivals have criticized you for not fulfilling the promises that you made on the campaign trail, like finishing the border wall. So how did voters know that you would get those done if you're reelected?
I did finish the wall. I built a wall. I built hundreds of miles of wall, and I finished it. And then I said, we have to build some more because there are areas like water going through a dam. There are some areas where a lot of people are coming. You close up one, and they come into another. And we started another 100 miles of wall. In fact, I said to my people, if we start this and don't finish it, and then we had a rigged election, I'm sorry to say it.
The election was not rigged, Mr. President. You can't keep saying that all night long.
And so then they took over and they decided not to finish it. It would have taken them 3 weeks. I built hundreds of miles of wall. If we didn't have it, it would be hard to believe it could be any worse. They're just letting people flow into our country. Look, a country has to have borders. There's never been anything like is happening to our country right now.
You built about 52 miles of new wall when you were in office, Mr. President. It wasn't the complete wall. One other thing that with
no, but I have to respond to that.
With your immigration, it was only about 52 miles of new wall.
This is what she does. I built hundreds of miles. Some of the wall was up there, and it would be laying on the ground, rusted, rotten steel, rusted, rotten wood, a little. And what the radical left, crazy Democrats did. If there's a piece of wood laying down, they consider that a wall. I built 30-foot walls that go down 7 feet into the ground.
I don't know. If it's just going to be the same thing over and over, it does get boring very quick.
They said, oh, he's not building a wall. We already had a wall. Because this is the game. They're a party of disinformation.
It's not a game, Mr. President. It's about 52 miles of new wall. One other immigration policy you have.
I built new walls. I built new walls.
52 miles
for hundreds of miles.
CBP, Mr. President.
What I did is I replaced other wall that was laying down, that was up and rotting in the ground for 30 years. Some of it was steel that you couldn't even see.
Mr. President, it was only about 52 miles of new wall. But moving on, another immigration policy you had was the zero-tolerance immigration policy that separated families at the border. If you are reelected, are you ruling out instituting that?
Well, when you have that policy, people don't come. If a family hears that they're going to be separated, they love their family. They don't come. So I know it sounds harsh, but if you remember they said I was building prisons for children. It turned out that it was Obama that was building the prisons for the children.
But would you re-implement that if you're reelected? Is that what you're saying?
Wouldn't that be an admission that he also built prisons for children? Yes. Oleg, thank you so much for the $20. Sorry about the ban. Next line of Coke with Zelensky's on me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we can't afford to have any more. Look at New York City. Look what's happening. They're living in Central Park in New York City. The city is being swamped. Los Angeles is being swamped. Iowa is being swamped. Our whole country is being destroyed. Millions of people are coming into our country. And you know what the number is going to be, in my opinion, by the end of the year? Not the 4 million that you hear and the 3 million. I think it's going to be 15 million people. And in these people, they have no idea where they come from. They come from 129 different countries so far.
Random numbers.
Not just the 4 that we talked about.
Just to put a button on that, it sounds like what you're saying is that you're not ruling out re-implementing that immigration policy. I want to get to another voter. Caitlin Boissonneau is a student here at St. Anselm College. She's a Republican. This will be the first election that she has voted in. What's your question for the president, Caitlin?
Keep it going.
Hello, President Trump. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
The current administration has made it clear that we should continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Do you support this decision, and how would you deal with the increasing threat posed by Vladimir Putin?
First of all, thank you very much. It's really nice. And it's an important question, so important, because we're giving away so much equipment. We don't have ammunition for ourselves right now. We don't have ammunition for ourselves. We're giving away so much. But here's the thing. I have to say it to start off. No longer matters. If I were president, this would have never happened.
There it is.
And even the Democrats admit that.
No, they don't.
Putin knew it would have never happened. And his pipeline would have never happened. A lot of things would have never happened. But this would never have happened. And all those dead people, both Russian and Ukrainian, They wouldn't be dead today. And all those cities that are blown up and disintegrated right to the ground, that wouldn't have happened. Okay, now, here's the problem. We've given so far $171 billion.
Not true, but whatever.
They've given, meaning European Union, which is approximately the same size altogether as our economy. They've given about 20. So we're at 170, let's say, and they're at 20.
It's not true.
You don't have to know too much about history to realize, or geography,
just pledged $5 billion.
That they're a little bit more affected than we are, okay? So they've got to put up a lot more money because they're taking advantage of us like every other country did. That's why I ended NAFTA and replaced it with the USMCA, Mexico,
But on
Canada.
this issue, Mr. President, I should know, I don't know any Democrats who have said they don't believe Putin would have been invaded if you were president. But her question is, would you continue to give Ukraine money and weapons if you're elected? What's the answer?
I have a very good relationship with President Zelensky because, as you know, he backed me up with the phony impeachment hoax number one when he said the president didn't do anything wrong. So I happen to like. Yeah, that's right. And I was totally exonerated, by the way. Just a waste of time and money.
You were impeached.
He was not exaggerated. He wasn't. They're lemmings. They're all lemmings. Every single one of them's a lemming.
Would you give Ukraine weapons
I was impeached by a crazy woman named Nancy Pelosi.
But the question here is, would you?
He could jerk off on stage, and they would be like, "Yes, inspirational."
Let me just put it a nicer way. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
How would you settle that war in 1 day?
So he won't send weapons.
I'll meet with Putin. I'll meet with Zelensky. They both have weaknesses and they both have strengths. And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over. It'll be absolutely over.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people and breaking out.
Fuck off. Every single one of those people clapping go fuck themselves too. They're all dumb little lemmings. Look at that old loser.
You said you don't think in terms of winning and losing.
Mr.
President, can I just follow up on that because that's a really important statement
let me
that
just
you just made
follow
there.
up.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying.
On both sides.
They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying. And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours.
What happened to wanting to win? What happened to like fighting for something? Something worth fighting for?
You know what I'll say? I'll say this. I want Europe to put up more money because they're in for 20 billion. We're in for 170, and they should be. And they should equalize. They have plenty of money. They should equalize. I got with NATO.
Really is
when I sat down, I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars that they weren't paying under Obama and Bush and all of these other presidents. That's why they're able to help them fight the war because of the money I got. But I want Europe.
What's happening in Ukraine,
excuse me.
Mr.
I want Europe to put up more money.
Because where's the CIA when you need them, man?
We're spending $170 billion for faraway land, and they're right next door to that land, and they're in for 20. I don't think so.
When it comes to what's happening there, when you were in office, you said that you respected President Putin. Do you still respect him today?
He made a tremendous mistake. He's a smart guy, you know. I remember I said he was smart, she was smart. He said President Xi of China, right, is smart. Okay, 1.5 billion people. He's the ruler of 1.5 billion people. I said, yeah, he's a smart guy. How dare he say he's smart? Of course he's smart. They want you to say he's a stupid person. Okay, he's not a stupid person. He's very smart. He's very cunning. And Putin made a bad mistake, in my opinion.
What was his mistake?
His mistake was going in. He would have never gone in if I was president. We used to talk about it there.
Do you believe that he is a war criminal?
What?
Do you believe that Putin is a war criminal? He's responsible for the deaths of thousands of Ukrainian men and women.
I think it's something that should not be discussed now. It should be discussed later. Because right now we have to get a war. If you say he's a war criminal, it's going to be a lot tougher to make a deal to get this thing stopped. Because if he's going to be a war criminal, people are going to go and grab him and execute him. He's going to fight a lot harder than he's fighting, you know, under the other circumstance.
Facts over feelings, unless it's offensive, and I have to call my buddy a war criminal.
To get that war settled. And I'm not talking about the money either. I'm talking about all the lives that are the number of people being killed in that war is far greater than you're hearing. When they blow up a city and those buildings come pouring down and then they say 2 people were injured, no, hundreds and thousands of people are being killed, and we have to get that war settled.
We have more with former President Trump. Right after this, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with questions from voters right after that.
Jesus Christ.
When you dream more, you need to move more.
By the way, I see people in my like response to my tweet about me getting banned saying like, Dylan, you can't rebroadcast TV. This isn't, it's being broadcasted on their website. It's being broadcasted on their website. It says you don't need cable TV to watch it. So if I don't need cable TV to watch it, why would it come with a copyright strike? It doesn't make any fucking sense. My goodness, man. God, Trump really is a feckless coward on Ukraine, though, man. Just like zero principle. But just out of fear, I'm gonna do this and move it off screen until this is over. Until the commercials are over. Why'd you get banned? Because I played the Trump town hall on Twitch, even though it's freely available on CNN's website. It's not just me got banned. IRI got banned too. This is fucking stupid, man. And it sucks because like this is my source. This is how I make money. This is how I make money to fund all the stuff I'm doing out here. It really sucks to just be like, oh, your job's gone. For 2 days, you can't work. You can't make money. Oh, okay. It is what it is. At least I have YouTube. At least I can stream on YouTube. Once YouTube banned me too, and then I just... they just want to do everything they can to make sure I can't make a dime. Can't make a single penny. How long's the ban? 48 hours. So no stream tomorrow and Friday on Twitch. Guess I'll be streaming on YouTube. Okay, YouTube bros? YouTube streams. YouTube streams. Seems damn arbitrary. It is arbitrary, man. It's unbelievably arbitrary. What about site chat? What do you mean, what about site chat? What about them? You should go to site chat. By the way, if you're on YouTube streaming, if you're on YouTube right now and you're not used to my streams, you don't watch my streams live, you can go to dylanburns.tv, dylnburs.tv, and you can join site chat, and you can be on the chat on screen. That also means that whether I'm on YouTube or on Twitch, you can just go to the website and we'll stream to that no matter what. So, boom, you don't need, if I get banned on Twitch, doesn't matter to you. It'll just switch over to YouTube and then you're Gucci. It's a good system. It's a good system. 48-hour, that's it. A ban on Twitch must not mean what a ban on YouTube means. Well, the thing is, I've never been banned on Twitch before. This is my first ban. I've never been banned. This is my first offense. First time I've gotten like a no, and it comes immediately with a ban. That's what really pisses me off, is that there's no warning. If I was given a warning, I would have been like, okay, we're not watching the town hall anymore. I guess we'll watch something else. But no, there's no warning. There's no signal. There's no message that they send you. They just ban you, no matter if it's a legitimate ban or not. There's no warning, nothing. There's no process to appeal it either. I went to look at the appeals process. You cannot appeal it through Twitch. You have to go through a separate DMCA system to appeal it. You can't even appeal it through Twitch. You know how fucking stupid that is? You can't even appeal it through Twitch. You have to go through a separate system. And it's like, and it doesn't even send you to a form to fill out. It sends you to like a list of guidelines and rules, and then you got to go through that to find the way. It's ridiculous. I can't even do it right now because it's like I got to read like 10 pages of paperwork to figure it out. Don't move to kick, lol, you lose this. I'm not moving to kick. I'd like to actually have an audience.
Welcome back to CNN's Republican Presidential Town Hall with former President Trump. President Trump, we have a lot more voters' questions, I should note, in here in New Hampshire to get to, but I also want to talk about some of the other investigations that you're facing. We talked about others
Fabio,
at the top, but one of those is the special counsel's investigation into classified documents that were found at Mar-a-Lago. Why did you take those documents with you when you left the White House?
I had every right to under the Presidential Records Act. You have the Presidential Records Act. I was there, and I took...
And he strengthened the act that they then can charge him with. That's what makes it so stupid. It'd be like if I passed a note, you can't drink alcohol, and then I got called for drinking alcohol.
That Chinatown we're talking about.
I got to stop you right there.
Nobody talks about him. They talk about us. Just so you understand, I had every right to do it. I didn't make a secret of it. You know, the boxes were stationed outside of the White House. People were taking pictures of the GSA and the various people.
I got to stop you right there, though, because
moving.
the Presidential Records Act, which is not well known to a lot of people, I read it. It does not say that you can take documents with you. It says actually that they are the property of the federal government.
It says you talk, you negotiate, you make a deal. It's not criminal, by the way. The Presidential Records Act is not criminal. And just so you know,
it does not say you can negotiate to take the documents with you.
Can I tell you? Just so you understand, the Presidential Records Act is not criminal. I took the documents. I'm allowed to. You know who else took them? Obama took them. Nixon took them. Reagan took them. Oh, he didn't?
The difference here that I'd like to know.
Reagan
the National Archives says that President Obama
even Jimmy
did not
Carter,
take documents.
even Mike Pence had some documents, and he's a very...
What the... And now CNN bans me. CNN bans me directly. CNN bans me. And it's going to go back to it. It's going to play an ad, isn't it? It's going to play an ad, isn't it? What? Why? Why? Oh my God. I am just taking L after L after L tonight. L after L after L after L. Okay. Back to the town hall.
Phenomenal.
Daniel, have fun editing this.
He didn't have Secret Service. The other thing, the vice president cannot declassify. He didn't have the right to declassify. He has documents from when he was a senator, and even Democrat senators say, I can't believe it. No, I went by the Presidential Records Act, and we were negotiating with NARA.
That's not what it says,
and NARA has red flagged a thing called the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights because they consider them dangerous documents. Mr. President,
that's not what it says, and I should note that there is a special counsel investigating your document situation, also President Biden's document situation. When it comes to your documents, did you ever show those classified documents to anyone?
Not really. I would have the right to. By the way, they were declassified after. Not that I can think of. Let me just tell you, I have the absolute right to do whatever I want with them. I have the right. I was negotiating with NARA. Do you know what NARA is?
The National Archives.
Extremely left group of people. Extremely left. And I was negotiating with them. All of a sudden, they raided my house. They didn't raid the house of Joe Biden. They didn't raid Obama.
But Joe Biden didn't ignore a subpoena to get those documents back like you did.
And so that's the question. 1,850 boxes.
But that's the question that investigators have, I think, is why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to... You're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
Wow, he got him. He got a four.
We were talking to NARA, that's Washington, to bring whatever they want. They can have whatever they want. When we left Washington, we had the boxes lined up on the sidewalk outside for everybody. People are taking pictures of them. Everybody knew we were taking those boxes. And the GSA, the government service, the GSA was the one taking them. They brought them down to Mar-a-Lago. We were negotiating with NARA. All of a sudden, they raid our house. When Biden had his documents, he won't give back the 1,850 boxes. And you're going to find some real gems in there.
But it was Biden who alerted them that he had the documents. The National Archives reached out to you to get your documents back. Why did you not turn them over when you got a subpoena asking for you to turn them over?
We were negotiating with them as per the Presidential Records Act. We were negotiating with NARA.
That's not what the Presidential Records Act says.
But they got to love our Constitution a little bit more, and they shouldn't red flag it, by the way. Very nice people. We were negotiating with NARA. And that's what the Presidential Records Act says, because Richard Nixon, surprisingly, had problems. And he had a lot of problems dealing with NARA. And they ended up passing legislation called the Presidential Records Act, just for this kind of a thing. We were dealing with them. We were talking. Excuse me. Wait a minute. Wait. We were talking to them. We would have done it, but all of a sudden they raided the house. Now, why hasn't the FBI raided Biden?
But I just explained to you why. No. It's because he's the one. They alerted the government that they had those documents and had them come and get the documents.
Because he turned them over. He hid the documents. Biden turned them over.
Are you ready?
Do you?
No, I don't have anything. I have no classified documents. And by the way, they become automatically declassified when I took them.
But why?
Let me ask you a question. Why is it that Biden had 9 boxes in Chinatown?
Could you imagine doing that? Like, you can just, you take all the nuclear codes, you put it in your pocket, and he leaves. It's like, it's declassified now. I can do whatever I want. I can give it to the mailman if I want to. It's silly. Of course it doesn't work like that. Bookworm, thank you for the 5 gifted tier 1s. I keep seeing white names in chat. Gotta purge them all. Gotta purge them all. Thank you for the 5 tier 1s.
The vice presidency. He had a temporary office. But I want to ask you about another investigation that you're facing.
You don't know the subject.
I do know the subject.
He had one at University of Pennsylvania, but he also had 9 boxes in Chinatown.
Another investigation that you're facing, which is the one that's happening in Georgia, where they are investigating your efforts to overturn the election results in the state of Georgia.
I did nothing wrong. It was a perfect phone call.
Let me finish my question. At the center of that is that call that you had with the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger.
Shut up.
Given the fact that there are indictments expected to come in that case this summer, is that a call you would make again today?
Yeah, I called questioning the election. I thought it was a rigged election. I thought it had a lot of problems. I had I guess he's Secretary of State.
By the way, to be clear, he called him and then asked for the exact number of votes needed for him to win to turn up in his favor. He was asking for him to rig the election.
If this call was bad, I questioned the election.
You asked him to find you votes.
I didn't ask him to find anything.
We've heard the audio tape, Mr. President. There's an audio of you asking him to find you 11,000 votes.
You owed me votes because the election was rigged. That election was rigged. And if this call was bad, why didn't him and his lawyers hang up? How dare you say that? This was a perfect
Well, they were clearly concerned enough. They recorded the call, and I should note that, of course...
This was a call that was made to question the results of election. And we have. And when we can't make a call to question election results, then this country ought to just forget about it.
You weren't just questioning the election results.
I was
you were
questioning
asking
the
him
election.
to find you votes. And I should note that there is no evidence of fraud. There is no rigged election in the state of Georgia. I want to get back to the audience, though, Mr. President, because those are false claims you're making about what happened in Georgia. Jordan Sullenberger is here. He's an undeclared voter from Hollis. He voted for you in 2020. Jordan, what is your question for President Trump tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Thank you very much.
I'm 26. I'm a veteran. I help manage a private aviation company.
You want a job?
I'd love one, yeah.
I'm looking for somebody very good.
I'm not for mandates or government interference in private business, but I've seen Republicans going after us like DeSantis after Disney.
Right.
What would you do as president to protect us from government interference?
Well, I'm the one that really wants to protect you. All of these fake investigations of me are about election interference. They think because I'm leading Biden by 11 points, 7 points, 9 points, I'm leading DeSanctimonious by a lot. By 40 points or 45 points. I think he ought to just relax and take it easy and think about the future, because right now his future is not looking so good. I will tell you this. We are really putting it to Biden, but he's putting it to himself because the economy stinks, inflation is horrible, and the border is a disaster. And by the way he got out of Afghanistan was the single most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
Mr. President, I have one more question for you here tonight, and I think while we're in front of the voters here in New Hampshire, this is a fundamental question for you. You are running in the 2024 race. If you are the Republican nominee and you are in that 2024 race, will you commit tonight to accepting the results of the 2024 election?
Yeah, if I think it's an honest election, absolutely, I would.
Will you commit to accepting the results of the election regardless of the outcome?
Do you want me to answer it again? If I think it's an honest election, I would be honored to. And right now, we are so far ahead of both Democrat and Republican. And you know what? If I don't win, this country is going to be in big trouble. It's so sad to see what's happening.
The world will explode if Trump is not named king.
If it's an honest election.
Dark Canuck, thank you for the 3 Canadian fun bucks. Appreciate it. Appreciate your work. Thank you.
Or acknowledging what happened in 2020. President Trump, I want to thank you for coming here tonight. This is an important conversation with voters to hear and to have. Thank you to our audience and to our host, St. Anselm College. CNN's coverage continues with Anderson Cooper and Jake Tapper.
And that's that. This is what I got banned on Twitch for.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
What a mess. What a mess.
Thank you, Kevin.
And those
I like you guys. We love New Hampshire. Thank you. Thank you, Woody. Good luck, Woody.
Thanks, everyone.
We're looking there at St. Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire.
And I do not care, Anderson. Okay. What do I think of Trump's town hall? What do I think of Trump's town hall? Man, if I had some words for it. I guess, well, my first thing I would say is that Trump is a feckless coward on Ukraine. He even admits that he is not going to call Putin a war criminal, even though there's an ICC warrant out for him for kidnapping children. We have found the largest mass grave in Ukraine since the Yugoslav genocide, over 440 bodies at Izium. The Russians engaged in cleansing operations in the Kiev Oblast, went door to door, executing military-aged men, dumping their bodies on the side of the road, wildly just shooting at civilians, just riding on their bike in the Kiev Oblast. We have, of course, the Bucha massacre, cities being wiped off the face of the earth, which he talks about. He talks about in his speech. He talks about how horrible the war is and tries to get into detail like, oh, I care so much. But then when it comes to the rubber hitting the road and him having to be honest about who is making Ukraine this desolate wasteland in much of its territory in the east, he can't say. I hear from the right so much, facts over feelings, and he can't be honest with you. He can't be honest. He doesn't want to say it. He doesn't want to piss off the person that he wants to be friendly with, Vladimir Putin. Up until now, I never bought necessarily that he wants to be friends with Vladimir Putin. I thought maybe he might feel him be like, oh, friendly with him. But now I genuinely feel like he just wants to be friends with Vladimir Putin. That is how that question and answer rubbed off on me, that he's an authoritarian. He respects how Putin's been able to have control of the elections. He wish he was like that. Now he wants to be friends with them, and he's going to avoid calling him out like that now. That's on top of the fact that all of his answers surrounding whether he wants Ukraine to win just sounded like dodges. At first, it was he dodged the question. When asked again, he dodged it again. Then when finally pressed for a third time, he's like, well, people are dying. He basically both sides that like, oh, I'm not pro-Ukraine. I'm not pro-Russia. I'm pro-peace. What does that even fucking mean? You can't both sides an illegal and unjust invasion of the country. One country started the war, and it was Russia. Could you imagine? China invades the United States. They occupy Colorado, Washington, California, Nevada. They occupy like 20% of the country. They're filling up mass graves, going door to door, executing military-aged males, trying to force Chinese citizenships on American citizens, committing all these atrocities, kidnapping American children, deporting them to China, forcing them to learn Chinese, abusing them when they speak English, or they express any pro-American sentiment, with American parents scared they're never going to see their children again. Oh, I'm not, well, yeah, am I pro-America? Am I pro-China? Well, I just want the suffering to end. Oh, I'm going to be able to get a peace deal on day one. The only way he is able to get a peace deal on day one is if he goes in there, he goes to Zelensky, and he says, Zelensky, you have to give Putin everything he wants. You got to give him Crimea, you got to give him Donetsk, you got to give him Luhansk, you got to give him Kherson, and you got to give him Zaporozhye, because Putin has shown zero willingness to give up any of that territory, any of it. And there's no way within 24 hours of him getting in office, he would be able to negotiate a deal where Russia leaves Ukraine. So what he is saying, what he's indicating from that answer, if he legitimately attempted to do that, the only way he could do that is by permanently signing away the freedom of millions of Ukrainians. He's a feckless fucking coward on Ukraine. And not to mention the fact, the numbers he was citing of $179 million in military aid, that's not true. It's about 38.5 billion. Not 187 billion, 35 to 38 billion. We're not talking about supplementals. We're not talking about the original prices. I mean, I think that still includes the original prices of the Vietnam War era weapons that we're sending over to Ukraine too. So even that number might even be slightly inflated. If we gave Ukraine $179 billion in military aid, they would have F-16s. They would have like a whole squadron of F-16 fighter jets. I think some people don't realize how much money that is when it comes to military aid. We haven't given them that much. We haven't. And do I think that a European ally should send more aid? Yes. I also think he's underplaying it. Japan alone has already pledged $5 billion for this year. $5 billion in aid. I think it's more than the $20 billion that he's indicating that it is. My goodness. I'd have to go back and check the specific numbers for European aid, though. Not to mention, the Europeans in some instances will go further than us. It's the United Kingdom that just agreed to send Ukraine long-range missiles when the United States were unwilling to budge on that. That's a risk they took because now their missiles could be used in strikes on Russian property to disrupt their supply lines. And now the diplomatic fury of the Kremlin is going to be directed towards them. I mean, the West generally, of course, too, but also them. Now, do I think that's going to really come with any real repercussions for them? Not really. In most scenarios, no. But that's a risk they took that we weren't willing to take. That's not even to talk about how a lot of these countries, as a percentage of GDP, is giving more than us. That is true for all the Baltic states. That is true for Poland. That's true for a lot of countries. Obviously, Estonia is not going to be able to give as much of us as us because Estonia has like a population of like 3 million. We have a population of like 330 million. Of the amount of aid that we've given, it's like 0.1% to 0.18% of our GDP. My goodness. That's the portion that, of course, enraged me the most. His answer about him being found liable for sexually assaulting that woman was, I think it made him look awful. He just decided that he was going to go after the woman instead of just being like, well, here's all the evidence against that, or not to mention his answer for why he didn't attend there, or I didn't want to honor it. That was a terrible answer as well. I don't think that made him look good for anybody that was watching that isn't a Republican and hasn't bought what he's saying hook, line, and sinker. I really, honestly, if you were to show this CNN town hall to the average voter, I don't think this is a winning Trump. Definitely considering how much he focused on 2020 election denial, which is not a winning strategy. The Republicans tried that in 2022 and it failed miserably. If he tries that in 2024 and he runs with that in 2024, Americans hate a sore loser. He's going to look like a bitch and they're not going to vote for him and he's not going to win. So I think the question that I take away most from this town hall is this primary Trump or is this just Trump? Because what he said about Roe versus Wade, for example, I also don't think is a winning message for Republicans. And from what I've read, he also doesn't think is a winning message for Republicans. Because the evangelical caucus, which is Trump's like biggest base of support that backs Trump, they want him to go harder on Roe versus Wade. And he's given pushback in private meetings because he knows that if he goes too hard on this issue, that it's going to really, really hurt him in the general election. Because the majority of Americans are not in favor of Roe versus Wade being overturned. Because the majority of Americans did like the right to an abortion and the right for a woman to control her own body. And so I wonder if he's going to run with these messages in the general. The abortion one really, really trips me up. Or if this is just primary Trump. If this is just primary Trump and he shifts message in the general, then obviously we would have to find out what type of Trump that would be and to see how well it would do. But this type of Trump I don't think will perform well in the general. But it's still the same old scumbag, feckless Trump. Dodged a million questions and just steamrolled through. The CNN anchor could do nothing to stop it. They tried their best, though. They did. It's not from a lack of effort. I don't think the CNN host wasn't trying hard enough. I don't know if they need there might have to be like an option just to cut Trump's mic during these things. I honestly do. I think there might just have to be an option to cut mics during these town halls. Delmer TV, if YouTube bans you, you might need to move to Twitter and stream there, I guess. I mean, technically it is your largest platform. Hey, man, we'll see. Oh, man. The lady had a few good interruptions. Yeah, a few times. I wonder what the polling data is going to be in reaction to this. I mean, I guess around Republicans, I have no clue, but I don't think it's going to do that well with independents. But this is also a Republican town hall. This isn't a everyone town hall. This is a Republican town hall. I guess that's that. Well, so I'm looking right now. Steven Crowder watched the town hall on YouTube with no problems. Tim Pool watched the town hall with no problems. It really just feels like Twitch, once again, was unbelievably trigger happy in banning people, thinking like, oh, this is Dylan's watching cable news right now, even though this was not on cable news, this was on their website. And it explicitly said in the CNN article that you don't need cable to watch it. I know, like, cable news, you get banned for that, but it isn't cable news. It was on the website. Oh, and by the way, obviously my podcast that was scheduled for this Friday with IRI is canceled. The first episode of our Libtards podcast. So I guess that'll be next Friday when we're both unbanned from Twitch for being too cool. God, that sucks, man. God, that sucks. It really just feels like Twitch in every way just doesn't want politics to succeed on this platform. Or the type of politics it wants to succeed on this platform is the most watered down bullshit version of politics possible. Where this is like, hello, I will play video games and I will just look at you and give you an opinion and I'll react to YouTube videos and that's it. God, man, this sucks. Dylan, love you. Thanks for what you do. I hope you get unbanned quicker. No, they're not gonna review it. It's 48 hours. By the time they would review it, it would be like a week. So I'm just gonna have to wait it out. And I'll stream on Twitch on Monday. I guess I'm gonna be streaming on YouTube for Thursday and Friday. So for any of you YouTube frogs who don't usually tune in to my streams, congratulations. I guess you get some YouTube exclusive streams. Man, Dylan, I wanted to do the math real quick on how much money we sent to Ukraine based just off a U.S. defense budget for 2023. And it was just 4%. Yeah, it's not as... I was doing the math earlier today. I was going to make a tweet about it, and I ended up not doing it. We spent 1/65th of what we spent in Afghanistan when it comes to military aid in Ukraine. It was I narrowed it down to 50th to 65th. So it's either 150th or 165th, or it's somewhere in that range. Either way, it's we're getting more bang for a buck in Ukraine, that's for sure, than we did in Afghanistan, which has seen most of our military equipment now just go over to the Taliban. And I do know that some of those ANA soldiers have actually gone to Russia and joined the like Wagner group and are now fighting in Ukraine. Really sucks. Gonna pray for Dylan's Twitch channel to be returned. It is what it is. Dylan Burns, the only person they help is Hassan, who literally keeps spewing Russian misinformation. Like, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm a Twitch streamer, unless I'm going to completely make the... And the thing is, my idea was always, well, then I'll just transfer over to YouTube. But then YouTube would just randomly ban my channel, say I'm doing an illegal activity, and then unban it only after I whine on Twitter, which is the only way this works. Dude, I have to do what the Wagner group does every single time I get banned. I got to do what the Wagner group does. I got to go out and just make as much noise as possible saying, if I don't get unbanned, Twitch and democracy itself will die. Just go be as hyperbolic as possible, right? And soy out, and then you get unbanned. You have to basically role play as the Wagner group's head, its leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin. You got to role play as him in order to get unbanned on Twitch. That's the only way it works. How much is it per year? I don't know. I didn't do that math. You're lucky if Twitch reviews something within a few weeks. Exactly. There should be a strike system like on YouTube. Twitch sucks. They give me no warning. That's the thing. I have never been banned on Twitch before. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And instead of giving me a warning, instead of telling me, hey, Dylan, stop your stream, or doing anything to improve their system, it's just, well, somebody gave us a copyright strike. And instead of, you know, reviewing to see if you are violating copyright law or this or that, we're just saying, yes, you violated copyright law and you're banned, and fuck you. That's it. They didn't give me any option. And I can't even go through the Twitch system to fix it. It is what it is, though. Soy or nothing is the Twitch review policy. That's the YouTube review policy as well. Dylan is the one that'll make Kick big. I actually saw some people on Reddit talking about if I could be a Kick streamer and I could stream about Ukraine on Kick. And I mean, if Trainwrecks wanted to reach out to me or something, like, okay, I would listen. But I find it just feels like such an untested platform. I obviously would do interviews with people, but I still, no matter what, can't stream from like the front line or anything, you know? And I don't think that crowd would really be too excited about my content. From what I've been told, like the kick political scene is not very libtard. Okay, it's not a libtard political scene. Same thing with Rumble. People tell me make a Rumble account. It's like, who on Rumble's gonna listen to me? Who on Rumble's gonna watch me? I know Destiny's had some success on Rumble. I've seen him stream on Rumble, but that's also Destiny. I'm a much bigger content creator than I am. So I'm gonna use the next 2 days when I'm not streaming to kind of reflect on what I can do to diversify my holdings a little bit more. Obviously, I would appreciate any donations, any subs. You can go to dylanburns.tv, dylnburns.tv, sub and donate to the channel. There, none of the money goes to Jeff Bezos. So obviously, I usually say that for the Twitch subs, but obviously that doesn't matter right now. I would really appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter at dylanburns1776. It's my biggest platform. I tweet all the time. You can get my hot takes. You can follow me on Instagram, dylanburns.tv, for my photos that I post from the war zone. I also post photos on Twitter as well, but I also post on Instagram. I just post photos and videos on Instagram from Ukraine. You can go and support me on Patreon, dylanburns.tv on Patreon. Of course, if you're in YouTube chat, you can donate on YouTube as well. I appreciate that. You can become a channel member if you want to for Dylan Burns Live. We're going to be releasing 2 videos tomorrow on Dylan Burns Live. I hope you guys go check them out. Definitely. Hey, and when I release that debate with Playing with Fire, all you YouTube frogs, you should go check it out. It's really, 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 really good. It's a really good debate. I had a lot of fun. At the end, it got weird when he started saying I should join the army or whatever. But besides that, it was an engaging debate. Anyway, boys, I'm gonna head out since I got bans. It's kind of a bummer. But I think I'm just gonna head out. But I'll be streaming on YouTube tomorrow. So for all you Twitch frogs who aren't subscribed to me on YouTube Live, Dylan Burns Live, sub now. Now would be the time to sub. See you guys later. Catch you on the flip side. You get the idea. Bye-bye.